Welcome to Will Benchmarking 2020. This is the year that we're going to transcend all the noise, all the lack of clarity, and all the dialogue and discussion that has been taking place for the last decade, and move on to what we call the gender maturity curve. Where exactly is your company on the gender maturity curve? This is the most important thing that you really need to know when you benchmark your company. What are we benchmarking for? We are benchmarking for balanced leadership. We are benchmarking for equal opportunity. We are benchmarking for best practices of women. We are benchmarking for wealth creation. We are benchmarking for innovation, and we are benchmarking so that we know that your company is on the competitive edge. That is what the Will Benchmarking 2020 is all about. Now, it is important to know where are the women in your company on the entry level, on the mid level, and the top level. And it is not about diversity, and it's not about inclusion, and it's not about mentoring the women. It's about getting the ecosystem in the companies correct. The rest are all tools. They are tools that go into getting the ecosystem into a cultural mode that is acceptable to every individual and respectful of their choice. So where are you on the gender maturity curve? One of the important things that we do in our benchmarking is to make sure we understand not only the numbers that you have, but what are your diversity programs? What are your programs for advancing women? What are your programs for giving them exposure to cross-industry experiences? It's not about internal mentoring. It's about what is the exposure that they have outside, which is a very critical component of leadership. It's called the gender context of leadership. There are so few women out there who are leaders that the gender context of leadership is really quite different. When we benchmark the companies, we want to be sure that we are not ranking any company. We don't want to rank. We want to be sure that they get it right. We want to show them where is the gender leadership gap in the company. Where exactly does the perception change? How is it that one person thinks it's an equal opportunity company and the other person doesn't? And how do we close this gender leadership gap? And mentoring the men is a very important part of this. It's also the last chapter of my book, Leadership by Proxy, and the chapter is called Who Will Mentor the Men in the Workplace? They're all critical components of your leadership exercise, and they're critical components of your benchmarking exercise. And we would like to propose that all the companies try out the Will Benchmarking, take the tools, make sure that they have a roadmap by the middle of this year on how they want to end in 2020. Get the certification, get the distinction, become a front runner. Don't wait for everybody else to do it first and then you will join in last. Try to understand that the competition does not wait for everybody. The competition is for those who will be on the front line. You would like your company to be on the front line. Benchmarking is going to get you there. And at the end of it all, this is a free marketplace. It's a free marketplace where the best is going to shine. And you want to have the best for your company. So get the Will Benchmarking. We're rolling out the exercise. We're absolutely delighted by the number of companies in the last 5 years who have benchmarked themselves. And I think that they have done an outstanding job in embedding those practices. Now, how long you take to embed it depends on your company. Nobody's in a hurry. Take your time. Some will take 2 years, some will take 5 years, some will take 10 years. But you got to do the benchmarking now so that you know where you want to be, depending upon the timeline for your company. And let us never forget that benchmarking also includes your boards. It is about good governance. It is about having women on boards. It is about having a large number of women on boards. It is about having women CEOs in your company. It is about making sure that there are innovative ideas and there's a non-homogeneous setup on the board. Nobody should look like everybody else. There is a great joy in having a variety of rainbow colors And that's what the benchmarking is all about. We invite you all to start your benchmarking with Will Forum 2020 as part of our important vision.